Hello, good evening. I'm preparing for a really juicy month with the Squad, which is my group marketing confidence cheerleading program for eccentric entrepreneurs building unconventional businesses in fabulously unconventional ways. And our theme that the members voted on for March is pricing, which, not surprisingly, brings up some stuff for a lot of us. So we've been kind of in our last session that was kind of like in office hours, we were talking a lot about what pricing brings up for us. So one person was talking about, it bringing up some emotions when prospective clients seem to get sticker shock for her prices and how it feels bad because so much goes into what she does. And then another client was talking about, that awful feeling when people try to sneak extra work out of your contract or your engagement, and just how bad that feels, and like not knowing how to deal with that in a great way, where they don't end up, feeling screwed over, or like they're about to lose the contract if they have to say no. And it had me think, and like full disclosure, like money stuff, pricing stuff is still stuff I am working on, unpacking, examining my own wounding, limiting beliefs, and baggage around right now. But I did have the opportunity to reflect and realize I've come a long way. And so I wanted to title this chat, I Don't Work for Free, and talk a little bit about some of my unapologetic pricing boundaries that I'm proud of myself for finally coming to a place of really deep confidence in. I was on a sales call yesterday where there was a little bit of a sticker shock, and it was interesting, actually 2 sales calls where there was like a little bit of sticker shock. And I remember the first year in my business when someone would be like, wow, that's expensive, I would go spiral about it afterwards. I'd be like, am I asking for too much? Is it really worth it? And I feel grateful for all of the work I've done to be like, oh yeah, it's worth it and more. But I also feel really grounded in my decision that it has to be that price. And here's why. The main reason that I cannot be cheap anymore. I cannot be inexpensive. I cannot be a bargain offer anymore, even though I still think my prices are pretty reasonable for what else on par with my services and skills is out there. And you actually can't get another marketing confidence cheerleader out there because I made it up. But I decided I am okay with people being like, oh, that's expensive. This is an investment. Because I'd rather they think that, really think about what they're getting out of this, get clear on like, why are they looking for help? Do they just want someone to follow orders and do what they're told because hire an assistant or a VA or someone inexperienced? But that's not me. That's not why you'd hire my agency. The reason I have to be expensive is because I don't want to resent you. If I resent my clients, I'm not going to do my best work. I'm not going to enjoy doing the work. I'm not going to enjoy talking to you. I'm just going to want to get it over with. I'm not going to care that much like how it turns out because I just want the whole thing over. That is not why I'm in business. That is not how I want to serve my people. I chose this work because I love it. I have specific gifts in it that I know wildly benefit my people, that get them great results, that can be literally life-changing, finance-changing, meaning, purpose-filled work, giving. And that ain't cheap. Those aren't cheap transformations. They shouldn't be cheap, or you devalue them. I'm like, often you gotta have some skin in the game to properly value what you have. And I don't want to do that kind of work in exchange for something that's going to leave me feeling resentful exploited and like I am uninvested in your outcomes because you are uninvested in my me getting what I need to do some magic for you. If you are not invested in providing an exchange that allows me to do my best work for you without hurting myself, that violates consent, which is one of my top values on behalf of me. You're trying to weasel around what I'm setting as the boundaries in which I'm willing to engage with you. And when boundaries are violated, that hurts the relationship. Yeah, it really does. It's hard to move in a healthy way past that. And I want to be so stoked to show up for your project. I want to be so stoked to show up and help you. I want to be so stoked and invested in your outcomes. I am not willing to accept an exchange that will leave me resenting you. It feels unethical. It feels unethical to be cheap. For the level of service I'm providing, it feels unethical to be cheap because, well, it's amazing work. It's amazing work. It'll change your business. It'll change your life. And to give you amazing work, I can't resent you. I can't. So if you are worried about people having sticker shock for your prices, or if you can relate to that, or if you're panicking at the thought of on a sales call, someone being like, well, that's a lot of money. I'm not sure. Like, what will I really get out of it? Maybe thinking about it in this way will help you. If you resent them, if you're exhausted and burnt out because if you'd priced it appropriately, you could have taken on 3 clients, but because you've priced it so low, now you have to take on 15. And now you resent everybody, and now you're exhausted, and now you're overrun and overworking. Is that violating your boundaries for what you need to do your best work and for your stated price or for what you need? And will it leave you resenting the people you're serving? Because it's really hard to do good work for people you resent serving. It's hard. So that's one reason I'm okay with being expensive. I'm not here to race towards the bottom. I'm not here to be the cheapest price or the option that costs you the least skin in the game, because I don't really think, that's how to do more of what you're already doing. But if what you're already doing is working, then why are you looking for help, right? If you really want to move ahead, we gotta put in commensurate effort, investment, exchange. All right, another thing that's coming up is when we talk about messaging in the squad, and even with other clients that are interested in like brand storytelling packages or their marketing plans, or just like figuring out what to say in their marketing in general, is people are really nervous when it comes to, like a lot of business influencers say, explaining the value proposition, the transformation, the results possible, because one of the fears I hear from entrepreneurs a lot is like, what if they say that's not worth the money? That would feel terrible. That would feel terrible. So here's what I say to that. The people that want you to convince them that you're worth the money, that are looking for you to prove themselves, we have this united ethos in the United States where that's just like a normal power dynamic. Like, we have all these movies with like the horrible boss that's kind of normalized, and how you have to pay your dues and work up, and everybody's kind of like sycophantic and yes men and I'll do anything to impress the big head honcho. That's not a healthy dynamic. I don't like it. And girl, you're an entrepreneur now. You went into business for yourself. Like, you don't have to replicate that dynamic with your clients. You don't got it. Like, it reminds me of this one time when I was working in corporate, and I got taken out for my annual review with like the C-suite. And it was totally by accident because I didn't know what was on the menu, but I accidentally ordered this like flaming dish. So like they ordered like normal like lunches, and they're like reviewing my performance, and then I have this like giant flaming platter placed in front of me, and I just watched everybody's face change, and I was gonna laugh at first, and then I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I did that on purpose and see what happens. And it really changed the dynamic for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm here to take up space. I'm here to get this fancy ass on fire food. Like, I'm not interested in blending in or being small or unthreatening. I am threatening. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Let's talk about my raise, which I got, and a new title. And what if you had that energy? And so if you go into a sales call and instead of I have to convince them it's worth it, or writing your sales page, or talking about your offer on live or in your marketing, instead of like I have to convince people this is valuable, what if you're just like, picture you just ordered a big flaming dish and everybody stopped, turned, and stared at you, and they're like, okay, that was the power move. And you don't have to be mean about it, but what if you're just like, yeah, I'm expensive. Yeah, I'm threatening. You're not going to get this quality anywhere else. There is one Isagachi in the whole wide world, and these are my terms. I'm not here to convince you. As you can see, I am amazing. So if you want this, here are the rules of engagement for benefiting from my experience. How would that change the energy of the sales call for you? You don't gotta convince them. If they can't see the value, then they're not your people. You're not here to convince them. You'll answer questions. You'll help them make a good decision. It's not like if it's not a good fit, they're a bad person. But you can also decide that you're not in the business of convincing people. You're too confident in how good you are. You have too much proof from the raving reviews of your clients. You have too much proof from yourself for the transformation you've seen people get. And if someone wants to try to knock you down a peg, doubt yourself, and start a working relationship that way, you can decide, no, that's not my thing. I don't want to do that anymore. Totally an option for you. So here's the other thing. I think it's really interesting that one of the biggest fears I hear from a lot of my clients is being told they're too expensive or people don't see the value in their work. And at the same time, these are the same people where like friends are trying to get their services out of them. You know, people on their existing contracts are trying to like pressure them into going out of scope and performing a lot more than what was agreed to. Which means people do see the value in your work. They want it. They want to benefit from it. They just don't always have the best intentions. Like they want to benefit it without giving you a fair exchange. Because if they can get it and don't have to pay, and it costs nothing on their part, and if that doesn't harm their internal sense of values or morality, or they aren't aware they're doing that, that's a thing that can happen. And no, it doesn't mean that your work isn't valuable. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to get it from you. And no, that doesn't mean they're bad people, but pricing's just really highlighting so many boundaries things that a lot of us need to practice and clarify and work on. But like, really think about it that way. Like, would they be trying to get this work out of you if it wasn't valuable? If it wasn't valuable to them, would they be trying to sneak it in for free? That means they want it. That means they see it's gonna do something for them. So here's the last thought I wanted to leave you with, that I've realized I've come up with in this journey in getting comfortable being not cheap, being comfortable saying my work is too good to give it away for free. And that's like, I do give a lot of free content and value away, like on this channel and my email list, on my podcast. And that's fine. That is consensual. I'm like, in this way, the exchange is like people giving me their attention, being willing to be familiarized and introduced to me and like warm up and be ready to work with me at some point. So that doesn't feel like icky or gross. But where someone's trying to actually benefit from my specific labor, like trying to get me to be their cheerleader, or trying to get extra like marketing work on a contract that was not agreed to, or is trying to lowball me, or trying to make me feel bad about my price, I have honestly come to the conclusion that you don't deserve to benefit from my labor and my brilliance unless you properly value it too. Because if you are not willing to give a fair exchange, how will you implement what I'm telling you? Will you value it enough to implement it? Will you value it enough to do the part that's on you to implement in your company to get the results that you want? Because I don't think you will. I'm thinking about like how many free journal prompts or workbooks I've downloaded that I've never done, like that are just sitting around gathering dust. And then I'm thinking about like the $3,000 course I bought that had a lot of journal prompts, and I did every single one, sometimes twice. Because like, if you make an investment, you want to get your money's worth. And if your investment is nothing, then you don't have to do anything to get your money's worth. And I want you to make use of the valuable stuff I'm giving you in your marketing. And so, no, I don't work for free. I don't even work for cheap anymore. And I'm okay with that. I'm not self-conscious about it. If you can't afford it, that is okay. But I don't work for free. And you don't want me working for free, and you don't want me working for less than what I need to do my best work for you. Because I'm sure you don't want to invest in someone that's going to resent you either. Anyway, this is a little rambly. Forgive me, I'm a little sleep deprived, but hope these pricing thoughts helped. If they sparked anything, if they brought you some insights, if you're going to use any of these, let me know in the comments, send me a DM. If you want to majorly unpack your pricing baggage in the best community ever, you should definitely join Squad. March is going to be all about pricing, and we're going to be facing all our pricing demons together. It's going to be so healing. It's going to be so awesome, and we are all going to get fucking paid. So a link for that's in my bio. DM me with any questions. All right, see you. Bye.